At first after kurudi back in my senses, niliangalia mikono yangu nikapata imechomeka kabisa. One day doc akakuja akaniambia we have tried our best to save the hands and the only option then yenye wako nayo ni kukata tu mikono.
Hello Tuko family, my name is Kingori Wangeshi. Welcome to today's episode of my story. Now, a small task of buttoning or unbuttoning your shirt could be a privilege for somebody else. Let's get to sit down with today's guest, Trevor Cyrus, and hear how a flash changed his life once and forever.
My name's Trevor Cyrus. Yeah, I'm 19 years old. I'm from Nairobi. Yeah, in Embakasi area.
All right. Is that your official name?
My official name is Cyrus Manze Kasiaki.
And then the Gen Z name that you've given yourself is Trev. All right. So Trevor, we're here today because of the situation that you're in. We understand there's a story behind it. That is why we've come to listen to the story and listen to you and see the way forward.
Okay.
You said you're 19 years.
I'm 19 years old.
What happened?
Okay, so it was on 19th Tuesday, April 2022. That is last year. It was I think 8 in the morning. I was at home with my younger brother. So tulikuwa tunaangalia TV. Then ikapoteza signal for like 5 minutes. So I decided to go out and check what was the problem. So I decided to twist the aerial. Then after twisting the aerial, I didn't know how things went. I just went unconscious. And after getting back to my senses, I was in a hospital. So after nilikuja nikarudi normal kabisa, nikarealize nilikuwa kwa an hospital which was near. It was near where we had karibu na home tulikuwa tunakaa. So from there nikafanya first aid, which was kuongeza maji. At first after kurudi back in my senses, niliangalia mikono yangu nikapata imechomeka kabisa. The same na miguu nikapata imechomeka, nguo nilikuwa nimevaa bado ilikuwa imechomeka, so nilikuwa na shock. So after kufanya first aid wakanirefer to Kenyatta. Upon reaching Kenyatta pia wakanifanya another first aid, wakanipea painkillers. Then wakaanza kuniongeza maji kwa mwili. Then from there wakanipeleka theater, the first theater. Malo aliniambia hapo kwa theater ataenda kufanya surgery ya mikono kwanza, watu ile pressure cause mikono ilikuwa imefura kutoka hapo kwa wrist hadi hapa kwa elbow kidogo. Ile imeanza kufura. So akaniambia ni pressure ilikuwa ndani, so atafanya surgery tu, minor surgery, watoe pressure kwanza. So nikaenda theater, the whole process wakafanya. Then nikapelekwa on a private ward. Hapo ndo nili under treatment for like 1 week. Then one day doc akakuja tukaongea, then akaniambia we have tried our best to save the hands and the only option then yenye wako nayo ni kukata tu mikono.
So before akueleze hivyo, the hands were there, but how were they? What was their status?
Okay, the both hands, the right hand ilikuwa imeumia sana, ilikuwa ishaanza kuturn purple. And pia sikuwa na feel any movement kutoka kwa below to elbow kidogo kusonga mbele hadi kwa wrist, na sikuwa na feel anything. The left hand ilikuwa na feel but kwa mbali. Yeah, but pia ilikuwa imeanza kuturn purplish kutoka kwa vidole kurudi kwa wrist. So jakaniambia the only option they had ni ku amputate the hands, because ikikaa hapo sana ita cause infection kwa damu, which might lead to death. Yeah, cause at that time, you know, nilikuwa under severe pain, nilikuwa na feel pain, so mi kusikia the only thing yenye wanaweza fanya wanipunguzie uchungu ni ku amputate mikono. Nikakubali tu.
How did you take it? Like when they told you that, what came to your mind as a first thing?
The first thing that came to my mind is in command ni okay, ameniambia naenda kukatwa mikono, so itakuwaje sasa? After hapo itakuwaje, cause nimejizoea nikiwa na mikono, itakuwaje after nimekatwa mikono? So but because nilikuwa na feel pain, ile uchungu sijaisikia kutoka nizaliwe, ilibidi nimekubali, cause alikubalingi haraka kabisa. Yeah, at least amputation ndio uchungu itoke. Na so wakani schedule for theater. Kenda theater wakakata mikono. Kurudi kwa ward bado nilikuwa na feel uchungu. Yeah, bado nilikuwa na feel the same pain. So nikaendelea na matibabu. Nikienda tu theater, narudi, wanaenda wanaosha vidonda, narudi. Nikaendelea hivyo. Nikienda tu theater, narudi. I think I went I visit theater like 9 to 10 times. Yeah, so the last theater walienda wakafanya skin grafting. Wajaribu kufunika hizo vidonda zilikuwa kwa mguu, cause niko na kidonda. So naona trouser hapo iko sawa, but ikifika hapo inaingia ndani kidogo. So ine wound iko hapa. So and also the right leg kutoka hapa mpaka wound. So they had to do a skin grafting. Wajaribu kufunika vidonda ndio zipone haraka. Waliniambia wakisema ni kuzacha zipone zenyewe, it will take time to heal.
Wakatoa skin hapa kwa thigh.
Skin hapa kwa thigh,
wakafunika mkono.
And also wakafunika huko mkono. Hapa. So after hapo ndo akani transfer to the normal ward sasa. So hapo pia nika undergo treatment pole, vidonda zika heal. Then nikakuwa discharged on July 27.
I'm trying to imagine ukiwa pale ward. Hizo hizo trips za kwenda theater, kuoshwa, and then you're back to the general ward. And now the situation has changed forever. At what point did you accept that now this has happened, it is not reversible?
Nilikuja ku accept the situation last year around October.
After around 6 months.
October, yeah. Kwa bado after sasa nilipona, ukapata uchungu imepungua kidogo kwa mwili. Sasa hizo thoughts zilikuja. Nikajiuliza mbona nili accept amputate mikono. Yeah, so nilipata hizo thoughts, though the best thing huko walinitafutia a counselor. At least akani counsel. Hivyo kupata na accept, but nafika tena sometime later naanza kusikia tena, naanza kufikiria kwa nini nilikubali amputate mikono. So it went on, but after conditioning nikakuja home, still ilikuwa ni hit, cause nilikuwa nafikiria okay, before nipate accident nilikuwa natembea niko na interact na mabest vitu zangu nilikuwa najifanyia. But for now inabidi nifanyie kila kitu, hata kutembea ni shida. Siwezi tembea mwenyewe. Ilinisumbua kwa akili, but yote kwenda counseling, nikienda clinics tunaongea, wanani counsel. Around the September, October at least nikuja nika realize, okay, the situation has changed. I can't reverse it. Kitu niko ni ku accept and learn how I'll cope with the situation. Na niendelee na maisha.
So at this point, had you completed your studies, high school studies, or were you going on with them?
Okay. So nilipata accident ndio nilikuwa sasa form 4. So I was to sit for my next examination on December 2022, that is last year. So due to the accident, siku manage kufanya exam.
What did the school say?
Okay, we had communicated to the school. I can decide I can still continue to do the exams. But for me, ilikuwa ngumu because I had to fight my inner emotions because of my situation. So hakuna vile ningeendanisha na masomo bado. Kuna vile bado nilikuwa na feel what has happened is not right. So ilikuwa ngumu. Ilibidi niambie my dad aongee na shule wa postpone tu mtihani. Nikirudi poa nitaenda kufanya exam.
So did you go back to school, or that is where it ended for now?
Yeah. Sasa sijarudi shule bado. Yeah, from that time sijarudi shule bado.
The accident changed your life?
Yeah, completely. Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Thank you.
How is your family? Like, do you have brothers, sisters?
Yeah, I have a bigger brother, firstborn, then secondborn, a sister, then me, then a fourthborn, a sister, fifthborn, a brother, then I have a stepsister and a stepbrother too.
How about your parents? Have you mentioned your dad?
Okay. In 2019, I lost my mom due to diabetes.
Sorry. How did that change the family, the way you relate to one another?
Okay, after the accident, everyone was on a panic because it's something imekuja abruptly. My dad had to sell any valuable thing he had to cater for the bills. Yeah. So it affect family, but because our family, we are Christians, so I think iliwasaidia kidogo, kwenda church. Akiongea na pastor, at least anawapea counseling, anawa encourage, anawaambia the accident occurred, but they had just to accept it and life will move on. Yeah, so hiyo iliwasaidia at least life can move on, but until sahi bado ewe inawa hit up bado, cause akiniona na hii hali tena anarudisha kile nyuma, nasema a year ago my son was well, so bado inamuhit, but at least siwezi compare sahi na hiyo time. So at least hata ameendelea kuzoea, ameendelea tu kwa accept the situation.
Are you in touch with your friends, your former schoolmates?
Yeah, we do talk. Kuna wenye tumepatana, but si wote, just a few. Yeah, tumepatana tukaongea. My friends too, they do really support me. Hata after kupata accident walikuja usiku nitembelea, to check up on me when naendelea. Sahi I still get in touch together, because nikitaka kwenda out, maybe nataka kutembea. Ya huwa na watafuta naambia okay, si leo tutembee mahali fulani, ananiambia it's okay, we can go. They do really support me. So nikitaka a glass of water nisaidia kunywa, in case kuna food nisaidia kukula. Yeah.
Okay.
They are really supportive friends.
Every young person has a dream about their life.
True.
What is your dream? I don't want to ask what was, because it's still there.
It's still there.
Yes.
Sure. Yeah, so nikiwa shule, primary, secondary, I had a dream of becoming a geological surveyor, which deals with water, you know, like the things with boreholes, dams, and such. And my dad inspired me a lot because he was working with the same company. Yeah, which deals in boreholes. So that thing inspired me to become a geological surveyor. Because the company that he was working with, they were doing a really good job. You know, they were helping the communities where our directors had taken them. So they were drilling boreholes for them, you know, helping them to get in touch with water. Because water is life, you know. With water you can drink water, you can plant crops. So that inspired me a lot to become a geological surveyor, so that I can try and help the community too. Yeah.
What changed in your life, like now you are not able to do, and you're doing before?
Okay, see, before the accident I was able to do everything for myself. But now, you see, something like 18, I can't hold a spoon like before. So that's a challenge, you know. Drinking water, I can't hold a glass. That's a problem. Cooking too, because before I used to cook, but now because of the situation, I'm not able to cook. Using the washroom, putting on my clothes, shoes. Yeah.
Someone helps you.
Yeah.
And I mean, you have accepted it does not affect you mentally right now, right?
Sometimes it does. Sometimes it does.
Okay, would you paint for us how your day looks like, and what activities do you indulge yourself in, at least to relax your mind and all that?
Okay, now, as they all say that an idle mind is a devil workshop. So I do try my best not to be idle, to avoid the negative thoughts. So I do interact myself with social media a lot: Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Yeah, and John Square, idol.
You create content?
I do create content like dancing.
You know, Gen Z is about content creation, and especially on the TikTok platform.
Yeah.
Yes, so what kind of content do you create?
I do dancing. Dancing content. So.
You dance, huh? Will you dance for us today?
Yeah, sure.
You can teach me, because dancing is my worst talent. If there's anything like the worst talent, I can't dance to save my life. I hope you'll teach me a few moves.
Yeah, but you know, dancing is a talent that anybody can do.
Really?
Yeah, anyone can do dancing, because I feel like dancing is something that if you put your mindset there that I want to dance, I'm capable of dancing, and you go under the dancing classes, I'm sure you will.
Yeah. How about now? Let's talk about your basic needs: food, shelter, clothing. Where do they come from?
Okay, my dad tries his best to cater for the needs, but for right now, he's not that financially stable. But I've some of my friends who have tried, to cater for some of the basic needs. I have my friend there called Jose. I have a friend of mine who is in abroad called Caroline. I have a friend of mine also in Nairobi called Queen. Yeah, they do really support me in any way they can. I really appreciate them for that. If they come across this one, I want to tell them that I really appreciate your support, guys. May God bless you.
We also appreciate the support that they've given you. And we pray that Tuko family will also come in big numbers and support you as well.
I really appreciate, guys.
What can be done so that you can sit for your exams? Because it's a really important exam.
Yeah, true. Now, if I'll be able to get the prosthetic arms, yeah, the ones that can hold a pen and write, I'll be so much comfortable to do my neck exams.
Prosthetic arms.
Yeah.
That is now what stands between you and completing your exams, so your education, secondary school education.
Yeah.
Tuko family, you've had Cyrus. Prosthetic arms are his only bridge to completing his secondary education and pursue his career as a
geologist.
Geologist. Wow, you people, visions and dreams mkonazo. I don't know if when we were in school I knew anything about geology.
Same to me, it came up, I think when I was in class 8 or 4 or something like that. Before, my dream was to become a pilot. But now, after seeing the good work that my dad is doing together with the company he used to work for, it really inspired me to become a geologist.
What are your hobbies?
My hobbies: listening to music, dancing, vibing with everyone.
Oh, my friend, you're a vibe, I can tell you.
Thank you so much. Yeah. I think, and traveling too. I do love traveling so much.
So let's talk mostly about this year, because last year you were in hospital and recovering. Have you learned any lessons during this 2023?
2023 has taught me a lot, because this year I've met new people, supporting people. They do support me with advices, counseling, and also I've learned so many things that do help me survive in my situation. Like right now, at least I can use the washroom by my own. There's some clothes I can wear, like a baggy t-shirt. I can manage to wear it, and a sweatpants too. I can manage to wear by myself. Yeah.
Did you have to go a retraining, even of your mind, and be able, and so that you can do these things?
Okay. No, I didn't go for training. I just came up to my mind that if I do this, it will help me to wear my shirt, and if I do this, it will help me use the washrooms, and if I do this, it will help me, put on my trouser, and such. And so I didn't go for training.
Okay.
I just came up to my mind that if I do this and this, I can manage to do this.
Okay. So now, I think at this point you just talk to the Tuko family, use this camera, talk to them, tell them what you want, what you need.
No.
Yes.
Okay, so Tuko family, I'd really love you guys to help me. If there's any way you can help me, you can support me, get the prosthetic arms and complete my studies, and also continue with my studies, because I want to pursue more studies, not only completing my secondary level. Yeah, I would really appreciate, because I have bigger dreams of becoming a bigger person. And one thing I learned that I don't ever let a situation put you down from achieving your goals. And so if there's any way you can support me, guys, to get the prosthetic arms, I really appreciate, because if I get them today, they will really bring a big impact into my life. I can do some of my basic things by my own now, and yeah, they will really support me, and I really appreciate. Thank you.
There is something that you've said and it has stuck in my mind. Like you can't take a glass of water.
No.
Do you think people out there need to appreciate that little aspect that they're able to do that?
Yeah, so guys, I should really appreciate so much for your life. If you are good, you are well, if you can do your things, you're mobile. I should really appreciate God for that. If you can manage to eat, to take a glass of water, and do some of your basic things, you should really appreciate for that, because you see, and it's not only me here outside what's this problem right now. You have so many disabled people who can't do things by themselves, and they depend on other people to help them. So you should really appreciate for that.
About your exam, Form 4, you had gone up to which term?
The first time.
The first term. So you'll have to do an entire year.
Yeah, I love to do an entire year, because I can't just go back and register for the exams, because right now I can't lie, nimesahau vitu zingine. So I love to look for enough time, at least I go through my books, at least ni try kukumbuka. So I need to go back from the start, that is first term.
Form 4 first term.
Yeah, Form 4 first term. Yeah.
And that will require school fees.
Yeah, it will require school fees, because first thing, I can't go back to the normal schools. I love to go to a special school, where they understand my situation.
Okay, yes, that was the question. So you want to go to the school that you are at?
No.
Now that takes you to the school of people living with disabilities?
No.
Okay. So, and has anyone tried to inquire the fee required?
Not yet. We haven't done that.
Okay. So the first thing right now is to get the prosthetic arms.
Yeah. If I get them, now I can go on and visit the school and inquire everything about what I need to start a year fresh. Yeah.
Did it happen in this building, or you were in another house, or where were you living then?
Yeah, we were in another building.
Which floor?
Third floor.
It was on the third floor.
Third floor.
And how close was the electricity cables to the house?
It was in less than a meter. I think it was in, less than a meter.
So did the antenna touch the electricity cables, or what could have happened?
I can't tell of that because I didn't know what went on. So after recovery, nilijaribu kuulizia nikiambiwa watu wenye walikuwa naelezea what they saw, walisema I think wind ili blow cable na come into contact na the people see us. No? So current ika transmit mpaka kwa balcony.
It was just a flash that changed your life.
Yeah, in seconds.
So sorry about that.
Thank you so much.
And we hope that by you sharing your story, you have challenged us, and you have also encouraged us. And we pray that the story will now change, that next time you'll be sitting down, you will be done with your exams.
True.
And looking forward to becoming a geologist, because it's still possible.
Yeah, it's possible.
Yes. And I like your spirit, that
Thank you so
the
much.
dream did not die that day. You still have it.
Sure.
We wish you the very best.
Thank you so much.
Trevor Cyrus.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for sharing your story with us.
You're welcome.
And our family, I'm sure, will stand with you. Now you're 19 years old.
I'm 19.
Which contact should we have? And by the way, you have not told us your TikTok account, so that this amazing team and family can follow you.
Okay.
And see how you dance. But we're going to show them.
It's okay, no problem. Yeah, so I have a TikTok account, and the username is Trevor Cyrus with a purple emoji at the end. Instagram, Trevor_Cyrus_official. YouTube, Trevor Cyrus with the purple emoji at the end.
Why the purple emoji?
I just love purple.
The color of royalty.
Yeah, I just love purple.
Okay. So you can give us your number. Is your number registered under your name?
Yeah.
Already?
Yeah.
Then you can give us your number so that you can be contacted, and those who would want to get in touch with you or support you in one way or another, that's the number that we'll use.
Okay, so guys, my number is 0713035348.
Please repeat.
0713035348.
Registered under
Cyrus Kasioki.
Cyrus Kasioki Mwanzia.
Yeah.
Well, it's good that we have the three,
Okay.
because sometimes they ask whether it can be, the combination can be Cyrus Kasioki or Cyrus Mwanzia. Ask, is this the same person? Thank you so much, Cyrus.
Okay.
It's time for us to dance. It has been scientifically proven that I can't dance. However, you've heard the story of Cyrus, Trevor, and you see how much of a vibe he is, even in his situation. And I pray that as a family, we'll stand with him. My name is Kingori Wangeshi, and this has been Trevor's story. Keep it Tuko. Tuendelee kudance. Uendelee kudance. Bye.
We can continue as well.
No,
I can come.
No, unless you teach me another way to dance, or another dancing style, which is the simplest.
The simplest.
Yes.
Can you do like this? Yeah, just do like this. Then the other foot. Yeah.
This is... Guys, dancing award inakuja. Tunatoa collab. Video vixens venye si video vixens, video producers venye wako nje. Unaweza dance ndio? Yeah. Haya, tuende basi nyosha ya mguu hivi. Hiyo at least. I think
yeah, the two rahisi, just the left piece. The other left leg. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you.